Welcome, everyone. We'll get started in just a few seconds here. I'll wait for a few more people to join us. All right, well, I will get started. My name is Julie Shields-Rutina, and I am the Director of College Planning, Education, and Training at MEFA. And I want to welcome you to this webinar and workforce training exploration for recent high school grads and all. But I also want to talk about how this is a part of a series that we're doing. So let me go through a few logistics before I turn it over to our presenters. To participate today, you have control over your settings and the chat is disabled. So if you have questions, and I'm sure you might, put them in the Q&A and we'll make sure to get to your questions as we go along or at the end. If you would like to use the live transcript for closed captioning, press that button and you will be able to choose closed captioning to see the words that we speak across the screen. And additionally, you will have the choice of what language you would like to see those words appear in. So if English is not your first language and you'd feel more comfortable seeing it written out in your language, please use that feature as well. All right. And then a little bit about MEFA. We are a state authority created in 1982 to help families plan, save, and pay for college. And as part of all that we do to help students and families, we are in the middle of or beginning a campaign this August that's especially targeted to students and others who don't quite have a plan for the fall in place yet. And to let you know that there are still many, many options for you. So I'm going to show you quickly right here. I'm going to show you the website that you can go to. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm doing a bad job with this. I will get that ready for you before the end of the webinar. I'll send you a website that will show you that all of the resources that we have for you this month, which include many webinars, which include blog posts, some podcast episodes, and access to resources and one-on-one help, including what we're calling a FAFSA Festival on August 16th, where you can join a meeting like this and be connected to a FAFSA expert who can help you complete that form before you want to enroll somewhere in the fall. So I will get that website to you. And with that, I am going to pass this over to my colleagues at the Mass Association of Community Colleges. I will first just introduce you to Lisa Karchia. And Lisa is the Director of Workforce Development for the Mass Association of Community Colleges. And Lisa will introduce her colleagues. And we have a really great presentation for you about all of the opportunities that our community colleges here in Massachusetts offer.
Thank you, Julie. And thank you really for having us because, you know, oftentimes, I know some of you on this call are either recently graduated or maybe you're the parents of recently graduated wondering, what do we do next, right? And people often hear community college and think, oh, well, that's just associate degree. Well, not just associate degree, but there is so much going on at the community colleges, especially when it comes to training for the workforce. So my name is Lisa Karchia. As Julie said, I'm the Director of Workforce Development for MAC, the Massachusetts Association of Community Colleges. I brought along my colleague, Sean 𝘊𝘢𝘢𝘕. He is the Program Manager for Education and Training Funds, and Carla Abate. She is the BMass Competitive Program Manager. Those are just two things that we house at our office for workforce training. However, there's so much more that we'll talk about. But to get started today, I just want to make sure, can everyone see my screen? And it should just be the slides from the beginning, I hope. Everyone? Yes? Good. All right. So again, welcome and thank you. So again, Lisa, Carla, and Sean, we can act as your single points of contact to get to any one of the programs we talk about today. So we'll be sharing this PowerPoint out to you. We'll also be sharing with Julie all of our contact information. So really, you probably, you know, as I said, you've seen community colleges across the state, right? And you think, okay, associate's degree. But really, we are a statewide network of community colleges who can be essential in training and upskilling new employees into really high demand occupations. Now, those high demand occupations currently are in healthcare, IT, and manufacturing. And we'll talk a little bit about those today, but really it is so much broader than that. And the high demand occupations keep growing and growing. Over the last 2 years, we've really worked a lot with workforce development across the state and bringing all of these high opportunities to everyone within the Commonwealth. So I think it's important to note, I don't know where you are all from within this call, but if you see our state right here, all of those pop-ups, right, are places where there is state education available. So the orange is really what we're going to talk about today, and those are the community colleges. We pride ourselves on knowing that there is community college access within a quick drive or a T or a commuter rail or even a walk for some to a local school. So wherever you're at, please realize that you may be down on the Cape, but there's actually online opportunities throughout the state, hybrid opportunities. And I know, given the circumstances that we all went through for the last 3 years, you all know how to use the hybrid component and the online component. So I would not let that scare any of you away. Sorry, the first program we're going to talk about today is the BMass competitive program. And I will turn it over to Carla Abate to talk more about this and what is available at one of our local schools.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. So the BMass competitive program started in 2021. So Lisa alluded to the changes that have gone on in the world. Think about this. What happened in 2021? We were in the midst of a second wave of a pandemic, and we were standing up a program. We refer to our program as the program that pivots. Each cohort that we work on with our program, the components are the same. You know, we are working with a community college. In this case, we've been working with our partners at Bunker Hill Community College, and we have specialized training. It is a total 20-week program. The first 10 weeks are customer service, career readiness, technical training. So these are preparation for entry-level opportunities in named organizations. So names like Bank of America, Mass Mutual, John Hancock, Mass General Brigham, Boston Scientific. So these are well-known organizations in which they are taking people from our program. So there's 10 weeks of training at the college. And then from there, those skills that are related to the entry-level customer service administrative roles. And then you would start a 10-week training on the job at one of these organizations. And our goal is that at the end of this opportunity that you have a job opportunity. So we don't say in this role that it is a guaranteed job, because obviously the work that you're doing in the program is what gets you to that next step related to the program. But successful completion of classroom training, successful completion of OJT in our history of our program aligns with having a job opportunity at that project. So our goal in this program is to have 2 a year. We up to this point have done 1 every year. And then this year we are actually doing 2 back to back, which we will not be doing in the future. So we have a cohort right now in May, and we have a cohort in July. So what does that mean? We have in our partnership, is the slide that you're seeing now, we have focused in Metro Boston area. So that's why Bunker Hill and the geographic area there. But we also had a cohort that we did in Berkshire that was specifically with Wayfair. Our goal, as you saw from the previous slide from Lisa, we have community colleges everywhere. And that's such a great opportunity for participants, but we also want to have employers in those areas. Because remember, in this job, the goal is to have upward mobility for our participants. Once you are getting into these employers is challenging. People who have a 4-year degree find it challenging to get into these organizations. So imagine being accepted into the BMass competitive program. You're not only getting training that's covered, it's all at no cost to you, training for the participants, but then you're also being placed in an organization and roles that are highly coveted that typically had requirements that we talk about transferable skills. So you may have worked at Dunkin' Donuts. You may have worked at Starbucks as a barista. You may have done some administrative work in the back end of an office. All of those things, or specifically in the job that you do. I'm thinking of Target. I worked at Target. I worked at Starbucks. Those tools, those things that you've done are all called transferable skills. So what we're doing is capitalizing on skills that you have and building them to be able to then transfer into the corporate world. So a lot of these opportunities would not normally be available to people. And that's what this program is all about. We're very excited about the work that we've done. What I say, if you let me step on my soapbox for just a bit, what's important to us in this program is, yes, at the end of the day that you have an employer opportunity, but also this program is looking at you holistically. So everyone who's coming to this program, you are your unique self. We are going to be training you, but we're also looking at long-term, all of those skills that you're going to use. Yes, you'll use at that employer, but also for you within your life. So we're very excited. Our participants, the last thing that I will share is that for our participants, when I say this is the program that pivots, we are always looking at our previous participants, what the instructors have to say, coaching opportunities, what the employers are saying. This is a very collaborative program. And some of the changes that we've made in this program are based on feedback that we got from our actual participants in the program. For example, customer service career readiness, when we started, was 2 weeks. We've now changed that to be 3 weeks. We started, of course, in the middle of COVID. We had a hybrid scenario of one part of the program was in person, the other program was remote. We've changed that to have it all be an in-person program. And that is also the support and networking that happens within that came directly from our participants, where they said, oh, I'm really excited to be remote. And then they were remote and said, I really miss working with all the people that I have in my classroom. So we continuously look at this program and grow this program for our students, for our participants, and also for the employers. Our last thing is people who are in this program. For the employers, there's education on both ends. So you coming into the program, the participants, our expectation of our employers is that there's mentorship. You're not just going in and being expected to know something right up front. You're going to be learning that job, but also that they understand that our participants have never been in that space before. So there's education related to that as well. It's an exciting program. We continue to build upon it, and hopefully you'll be interested in it and have any other questions. We are here for you.
Thanks, Carla. I think one snippet there that was overlooked and is an important part of this program is that they are stipended. So, you know, and
Huge. I don't want you to, I don't want you to focus on the stipend, but it's an incredible part of the program. I'm so sorry. Yes,
okay.
we have a stipend. So another
What
thing
is a
things that we
stipend
work
for those of you who don't know what that is?
so stipend is, so your time is as important as anyone's time, right? And we want you to be able to be successful in the program. And often that cost to come to the program to participate in these types of things, it's hard because you're also working or you're doing other things. So we are wanting to provide an educational stipend associated with your work in this program. The first part of the stipend is based on it's a part-time part. The classroom training is part-time. And then when you move to OJT, that is full-time. And the stipend, we've increased our stipend. We've looked at that stipend and it's based on $15 an hour. So it's based on minimum wage. So our stipend right now is, Sam, as I go to this, $750 biweekly. And it is $1,080 when you get into OJT. It's a significant stipend. And thank you so much, Lisa, for pointing that out, because it is important and people don't realize that. That and the employer job at the end are significant differences of this program. And I should have led with that, but I don't want people to, don't come to the stipend might get you into the program, but that's not what keeps you in the program.
Absolutely. And
So
it is an
thank you.
intensive program. I mean, the training is very intensive to take in so much, but really if you're, we often say there's no wrong door to find your way, right? There's no wrong door. And this is, so whether you come in through a program like the BMass competitive program, or maybe these programs that Sean is going to talk about that are also non-credit programming, there's ladders that we can build on. If you don't know what you want right away, I mean, the 18-year-old Lisa was going to be a kindergarten teacher. Well, this 53-year-old Lisa is not a kindergarten teacher and took a varied path. So, and I think as a recent graduate, you think to yourself, you want to have that goal at the end, but take some doors, figure out where you're going to lead. So I'm going to let you hear from Sean next. Sean runs what's called our ETF program. And Sean, you want to share a little bit about that?
Of course. Thank you, Lisa. Happy Wednesday, everyone. My name is Sean Foley, ETF Program Manager. And yeah, the ETF program, it's less of a program that MAC facilitates or created, and more of a collaborative between the Mass Association of Community Colleges and all 15 community college campuses. I say that to say, nothing that the campuses are offering through this is brand new for this program. These are programs that have been tried and true. They have been offered at these campuses because they understand the needs of the industries that surround them. And as Lisa alluded to, there's a huge focus on healthcare, IT, manufacturing. You can even see it here on this slide that the majority of programs that we see high enrollments in are healthcare. You do have IT, you do have manufacturing, and healthcare we know encompasses so many different things. If you want to be a home health aide, if you want to be, working your way towards being an RN, if you want to be a phlebotomist, if you really, if sticking a needle into somebody just really gets your blood going, no pun intended, then that could be something that you're interested in. But the ETF funds were actually created as a response to a lot of those impacts that COVID had on so many industries in the state. And it was seen as an opportunity for the community colleges to kind of really take that front seat of, well, we can upskill and train those individuals to kind of fill in those opportunities that had been vacated because, COVID kind of decimated a lot of our workforce. So this was seen as an opportunity to say, look, our community colleges have been doing this already. They have the resources there. Let's just make it easier. Let's just make it more accessible for the individuals who want to step into these programs and into these careers and industries to do that. So I know Julie mentioned that MEFA focuses on the plan, save, and pay. We're trying to get rid of those last two and just say, just plan it. The saving, the paying, yes, we know that there are some additional costs that come with being just a human and a student. But the focus and the big draw for ETF is that these programs come at no tuition, no cost. Whereas some of these programs, have traditionally, been upwards of, $7,000-8,000 for a certificate or for a credential. So we've been really excited to say, if you're interested in jumping into these industries, come take these courses. And so if we can move to the next slide, again, here's just a little bit further of a breakdown of some of those key industry areas that we're working on. And again, I know I kind of hinted at it earlier, but you see all the different types of healthcare, IT, business, you see manufacturing, foundational and advanced, construction training. There's just so much being offered through ETF. And it's really an opportunity for you to say, hey, I should just pick up the phone, or maybe not pick up the phone, because I know we don't like to call people on the phone nowadays, but maybe hop online to your closest campus's website and see if they have any ETF programs that are being offered. Or if you have a specific desire, check out and see which campuses offer it. This is a great opportunity to take advantage of what's currently a pilot program, but something that we're excited to see continue forward. And so it's currently a 2-year program. We just entered into our 2nd year. And the goal was to train, 1,500 individuals and have them placed in industry over the course of 2 years. And to say that this program and this offering has been popular is a huge understatement, because by May, so this is May of this past year, not even a year in, and we still have another year to go, we had over 2,400 individuals who are either completed or currently enrolled in programs. So to know that the original goal was 1,500 and we're already shooting way past that is just a testament to how popular and how interested you all are of taking advantage of programs like these.
Sean, can I ask,
Yeah.
You mentioned going to your local community college, great. Or if you have an idea in mind, but not sure which campus might have that, do people go to your website, or what are some of those first places to start if they are listening to this like I am and thinking, oh my goodness, there's so much here?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I think that's one of the efforts that MAC is really putting forward is how do we have such a collaborative group of 15 campuses, but we don't necessarily have that centralized hub of, you say, I live in this zip code and these are the programs I'm interested in, plug me to the closest one to me. And so that's something that we're working on with campuses right now, but it's absolutely reach out to us. As Lisa said, we are the single points of contact. It's actually my job to know where the programs are being offered. So if somebody, sends me an email and says, hey, I saw that, you have a Google IT certification course and I live here, what are the opportunities? I can easily rattle off, which campuses are offering it, when they're offering it, if it's a hybrid model, an online model, or if it's in person, and just provide you with all the information so that you can make the most informed decision of, okay, this sounds like something that I could take advantage of.
Thank you so much. That's wonderful. And I know that that's similar then, Carla, as you were saying, for your program, reach back out to you at Mass Association of Community Colleges. That's great.
You can certainly search those webs and, do all of that, but you know what? We will take the pain away from you. Go ahead and reach out. I'm interested in this. Now,
Please.
As you heard, Sean and Carla both shared that all of the programming that they are overseeing is fully funded. So it is fully funded from the state or federal level, meaning that there is no out-of-pocket expense for tuition. Now, some of them do have a low cost, maybe it's a testing, there might be a testing fee or something like that if you're going through an exam prep or things like that. But at the end of the day, this is really a barrier that we are trying to break down. We're trying to break that down in a number of ways. And something that I'm just going to quickly talk about that likely doesn't affect those on this call, but if there's some parents on there, they may be interested in hearing this. The state budget was recently passed, and there is a line in there for what's called Mass Reconnect. Mass Reconnect is going to make community college free to individuals 25 years and older who have not already earned a degree. So you can't hold an associate's or a bachelor's, but if you have not done that, community college will be free to you, 25 plus. That will be another webinar for another day, but I wanted to drop that in there just to really keep these conversations going and making sure you understand what's going on at the community colleges. Something else that is in the planning phase is free community college. That won't roll out for another year. That is a planning phase, but definitely something to keep your eye on.
Thank
So,
you, Lisa.
thank
And
you.
as we've talked about, as part of this summer campaign, we're going to try to get a webinar together soon on Mass Reconnect, which will be wonderful.
Absolutely working on that. So stay tuned. I look forward to introducing you to a couple more colleagues from our office. We are a small but mighty office. All right. So let's move on. So you've heard, I mean, really, we try to dip our toe in everywhere we can where we think there is value. And the next spot here, so you see, the BMass competitive program is really focused on, 1 or 2 campuses at a time. We are scaling that up and hope to include other campuses soon. Sean's education and training funds does run across all 15. This workforce training consortium initiative focuses on a few colleges at a time and some areas where, again, they are high priority, but they're not within, IT and, well, actually one is IT, not healthcare. So these are, again, fully funded programs that will lead to upward mobility. When we talk about upward mobility, we talk about this a lot within workforce. Getting into a job, getting training for a job that will allow you to progress right up that ladder. These particular workforce training consortium initiatives that I'm going to be talking about next expose you to expertise in high demand careers throughout the state. These include IT, paraprofessionals, which fall under the education realm, and then behavioral health. And we have seen a lot of growth in behavioral health more recently, especially as we come out of COVID, and none of us are without maybe some mental health issues that came out of that. And there is a spike in the need for mental health and behavioral health workers. So, if this is something that maybe has an interest to you, I mean, I know my niece was highly affected by COVID, and right now she's now a year out of high school and looking at the whole recovery coach piece and being an addiction specialist because she saw so much through COVID in her own high school. So these are areas where you think, what can I do? Where can I go? You see the colleges, they are all over the state. Again, fully funded programming for these rounds of consortiums. Now, finally, so, wow, we've given you a lot today, right? What's the right career path for me? There are 15 colleges with depth and breadth. This word cloud just picks and chooses really probably 2 or 3 from each college. This is not a substantive list, right? This is just a small sampling of things that are sort of outside the norm at our community colleges that don't require you to do that full application, that don't require you to pay a lot of money out of pocket or no money out of pocket for some. I've listed these by college, again, small sampling, not an extensive list. But one that I want to call out right here is the Bristol Community College is doing a free seminar, Exploring and Scoring Your Dream Job. Now, this is open to anyone, free of charge. fully online. They're going to be working with you on creating a LinkedIn profile, creating your resume, searching jobs, looking for something that appeals to you. I call that one out only to say, you know what, keep things in your back pocket. Utilize what is really in front of you. I mean, if you're from the Berkshires, we have culinary and hospitality readiness, ready to go, ready for you, because in the Berkshires, there's a lot of hospitality jobs growing now again, thank goodness. You know, we go down to Bristol. Bristol actually has a great offshore wind program as well. If you've had interest in clean energy, green energy, you're interested in being so, you know, responsible in that way, take a look at some of those jobs, those biomanufacturing techs, mechatronics, things that, you know, these all sound like foreign words, but if you have an interest in learning how to read blueprints, that goes into the mechatronics. It goes actually into production technician. You know, you think about manufacturing. Manufacturing is not, you know, those old black and white movies that you saw, you know, maybe, you know, or you were watching people, you know, putting together, you know, boxes or things like that. Manufacturing has elevated itself to a place of, how about all the medical manufacturing that goes on? How about all of the, you know, we talk about robotics, optics. If you have an interest in something, there is something for you at the community colleges. You know, are you outdoorsy? Are you really wanting to, you know, stay on the water? Have you looked at the marine tech program we offer at Bunker Hill? They're actually at a couple other places as well. Maybe you're into cars and want to get your feet wet. How about automotive damage appraisal? You know, there is so much. I can't even begin to, again, small sampling. I will also say that some of you, you know, at the public high schools, maybe you had wished that, geez, I should have maybe gone to a technical school. I should have become an electrician or a plumber. That programming's also available. I call out Springfield Tech for that, but there are others too. Smart building technology. This is through Roxbury Community College. They just received an amazing grant. Actually, Sean and I just toured the facility, learning about smart buildings. I didn't know what a smart building was. Now I know. How do you climate control for, you know, a 10 level, 15 level, 30-story building? This is technology to teach you how to do it. Energy certification. Are you interested in weatherization? You know, again, we talk about being outside, landscape design, things like that. Were you thinking about a legal career? There's paralegal out there. Are you interested in computers but not sure what? There's those Google IT certs. There is business computer apps. You know, childcare. Childcare is one of those jobs that many don't maybe think about, because we do know it is a low-paid career. However, with the right training and background and holding your child development associate certificate from one of our schools, it elevates you to beyond that minimum wage. So again, these are just a few things. I mean, I list 15 colleges with 2 or 3 little pullouts from our websites. But at the end of the day, there is so much more. Actually, I just noticed certified fiber optics and aviation. I mean, I don't think, you know, you could call out to me right now, well, Lisa, I really like, you know, pulling things apart. I really like exploring. I really love to party plan. Well, let's talk about, you know, where can we hook you up to get you some training that might be beneficial to bring you into a career to find your next step. So really, we can't say again, if you have questions, we hope to have answers for you. You know, not everyone chooses the 2-year, 4-year path. People jump right into jobs and want to build on a career, and we can we can certainly help you out with that. So I'm going to stop my share now, but I'm glad to open it up to anyone who has questions for us. Oh, Julie is muted.
Sorry, and I was going to say, I'm going to share out the link to that Bristol program that you mentioned. Let me do that.
You know, when we've been talking a lot about these kinds of things, and I thought, what a fabulous thing. I mean, it is fully online, and it's a seminar. I think there's 10 meetings, fully online, free.
Oh.
You know, there is so much grant funding out there for the residents of the Commonwealth that, you know what, take advantage of it and look at what's there.
Oh, I just really like everything that you shared. There's so much here for so many people. I'm going to just ask again, are there any questions? You could type that into the Q&A, anything that Lisa or Carla or Sean could answer. And if not at the moment, please do research, go into the websites, think about yourself and what you're interested in, go to the websites, call, ask questions. And I feel like we just have a gold mine here with you three as resources to our state. So,
you know, and I'm sure it feels very overwhelming to anybody on this call, right? But really think about your interests, because oftentimes the things that are of interest to you, you can't match up with a job in your head because you haven't been exposed to it. But guess what? I have, Carla has, Sean has, others at our college have been exposed to say, I mean, there is so much. Robotics is a really neat thing, and something that can go into a lot of different fields. You know, there is that whole, you know, the healthcare piece. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to be a nurse. There is so much within the healthcare industry. You know, I forget where I was recently, but someone said, well, if you don't like blood, how about you talk about being an EKG tech? Or, ooh, you're not really into the, you know, you couldn't do the vomit or the mucus. Well, stay away from CNA, but how about, you know, X-ray tech? You know, so really, we can work on this together. This is what we're here for too, and especially to connect you to one of our workforce development partners.
now we do have a question. Someone asks, I work as a transition coordinator, and I have students who would benefit earning a certificate while they're in high school with us. Is this possible?
It is possible. If we could connect, I will be happy to connect anyone. I don't know how many counselors are on this call, things like that, but happy to connect you with the right people to get with your school district to see if that's a doable thing and what is doable from our end.
That's terrific. Okay, and I'm going to share.
I'm sorry. Just one more thing.
Yeah.
See, so is one more thing. A lot of this programming that we talk about today, it is non-credit, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't equate to something in the future for you. We do credit for prior learning. So if someone maybe goes into personal care, actually, I think that is something that we didn't talk about, and I would like to share that as well. But if you're a personal care attendant, or if you're pursuing CNA, or those translate to college credit down the road. So everything you do, make sure you're thinking about, oh, I should probably bring this up when I go ahead to, if I want to get an associate's degree, or if I want to move on to a bachelor's. Personal care attendants are actually something that there is a strong need for, and you can be 16 years old to be a personal care attendant. So that is for those that aren't yet 18 who are out there looking, I will also share some of that information as well. That is a high demand job. Again, not super high pay. We're trying, the entity is trying its best to elevate that pay, but it is amazing exposure into healthcare as well.
I am sharing contact information. Someone else asked, what's the first step that someone should take if interested in BMCP or ETF?
I would say let's
Go.
connect Carla or Sean, right?
Yep. Talk to us.
I will say they're both, all of us, we are available by phone, by email. Obviously, if you want to start with an email, I know we are in a more phone friendly generation. And if you want to text, text a quick email or just shoot it over, pick up the phone if you really want to, but there's those emails right in the chat.
That's great. So I just put those in. I was having a little technical trouble here, but the ABATEC at mac.mass.edu is Carla, and the DADSETAN-FOLEYS at mac.mass.edu is Sean. So those are in there for everyone.
They look like funny. Yeah, I wish it wasn't that way, but that's the way our emails are set up.
Absolutely. And Lisa, I am going to put yours in there as well.
I already did. We are good.
Everyone. Great. Let me just make sure it gets to everyone. And that's Lisa. Okay. Well, I know it's summertime, so we can end here, but let me just say again, this is the beginning. Okay, so you have everyone, wonderful resources here. I'm just so thankful to all of you, Lisa, Carla, Sean, and we have many more webinars of this type, helping you think about your next steps. So please come back and join us at the website mifa.org/yourfuture to see all of the rest of the programming, and to just know you can stay connected to resources. There's so much help and people who want to work with you and share all of this great information. So thank you again, everyone, and we'll see you all soon. Thanks.
Thank you
for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.